Hi and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about bill pay versus auto pay. So let's get started. So first off, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to SissyLiz89 for asking this question in one of my community posts. So when you ask a question, I get the chance to answer them. So let's answer your question. What is bill pay? Bill pay is a service offered by banks and financial institutions in order to offer their account holders the ability to make payments towards whoever they want to, utilities, etc. It simplifies the process because everything can be done through their own bank account, either through a web app, the app itself if there's a mobile one, or by talking to their bankers. Essentially, it was the way for a bank to make it easier for the individual to pay services, vendors, etc. by doing it electronically instead of manually writing out checks. How does bill pay work? It's a manual process and it involves a couple of steps. The first step is setting up payees, which is that the account holder has to go into the system and then type up the information of who they're paying, what's their address. If it's going to a business account number, then they need to know the account number, the routing number, etc. for the person that they are going to be paying. And in general, once you set up this information once, it is then securely stored so that way you don't have to do it every time after that. Entering payment information. So this is where you manually go in and then enter your pay date as well as how much of a payment you are going to be making towards the payee. Choosing payment dates. The previous step is inputting the date, and this step allows for you to either set it up to be reoccurring for a fixed amount or not. That creates a flexibility in which you get to decide how much is being paid and when. Step 4 is initiating the payment. So once you have that set up, then either through the website, through the app, or talking to the bankers themselves, you can then initiate the payment and therefore set it to go forward. Payment methods. So not all banks offer all different types of payment offers, but there are some that include them. So aside from creating an automatic check, doing an automatic debit, or setting it up to be an electronic transfer, those are different methods of how you can pay through the use of bill pay from your bank. Lastly is a payment confirmation. So once it goes through, generally the bank will then send you an email with information that your amounts was deducted on this date, and if there is a recurring one going forward, it should mark the next one when it is, or give you the option to go in and do it yourself. Is bill pay safe? Yeah, it is safe. It is going through your bank's system, so therefore it's going to have encryption, it's going to have additional security features, and in general it acts as a third party, so you are not giving your individual bank accounts information to the payees that you are paying, which provides yet another level of security because that makes it harder for them to auto draft a different amount because you are not authorizing them to pull from your account. You are the one who's initiating and sending that money out. So what are the pros of bill pay? Well, the first is control over payments because process really falls upon you. So you are the one who gets to see the amount of money in your own bank account, and then you get to make the choice of sending the money forward. Flexibility in payment amount. So again, this is semi-true in the sense that you can decide whether or not you can pay more or hopefully pay at least the minimum, but you have that flexibility because you get to see your own account and you get to know exactly when the money is getting pulled versus not necessarily knowing when it can be pulled or doing it the old way of writing a check and then it is up to the payee's discretion to cash it. They might cash it immediately or they might wait and you won't have necessarily the funds at the time that they pull it if you don't know when they're going to pull it. Lastly, it's easy to make changes through your bank. It is easy to change the amount, it's easy to change the frequency, it's easy to no longer have additional drafts, etc. set up. Again, it falls on you as you have control over where you are sending your money. What are some of the cons of bill pay? The first one is that it is manual. So you are the one who is going to be setting up this initiation. Yes, there are ways to make it reoccurring and making it a little bit more automated, but in general, it was originally designed to be a one-off where you go in every month on the date and then have the money go to the different payees. Potential for mistakes. Again, because it is manual, it is entirely possible that when you are entering in the information, you might make an error in typing it in, and therefore your payment then doesn't go to the right person, or it gets held up, etc. In which case you are liable because it was a manual user error. Inconsistency in payments. There is the possibility that if you forget to then make a payment, that a payment does not go through unless you set it up that way. So there is a possibility that you will be inconsistent in payments because, again, it relies on you to make these initiations. What's autopay? So autopay is short for automatic payment, and it is an authorization between you and the service provider or the product holder, subscription, utilities, giving them the permission to pull money from your account. So in this case, it is up to the other company to pull the money instead of you pushing it out. This could be done either on a credit card or through an actual bank account or to your debit card. It kind of depends on the company that you were trying to set this up. So that is something to consider. How does autopay work? So it is 4 steps. The first one is you give authorization for them to pull the money. So it is generally a form that you fill out, you give your information and then the agreed upon amount. So if it is a fixed payment, then on this credit authorization or this account draft authorization form, it will tell you that you are agreeing to an automatic payment on the 12th of every month for this set amount, and then you sign it and you also give them the account information or the card details for them to then put it through. Automatic deductions. So essentially, once it is set up in the company's hands, then it is now easy for them to pull the money, and you gave them authorization so they can pull it as agreed upon on that original enrollment. So that is something to pay attention to because it is also possible to get additional drawings pulled out. So that is something to consider because you authorize them to pull money from your account. Lastly is the notification of payments. So in general, dependent on who you gave your information to, you will get like an email confirmation. Sometimes you will get it in the mail saying that, oh, hey, you're going to be drafted this amount on this date, just as a heads up. And then confirmation your payment was made or there was an error. You will get these when there is a insufficient funds. So if your account doesn't have enough money to make the payment, in general, you should be getting a notification stating from that company that, hey, your payment did not go through. What are the pros of autopay? Well, one is convenience. Essentially, once you set it up, it is kind of a set it and forget it mentality where it is on the company to make sure that that money gets pulled. The other pro is timely payments. So you are practically guaranteeing that you are making payments on time so long as there's money in your account that is getting pulled, but it is on the company to pull it at the specified dates that you agreed upon. Reduced late fees. So because they are responsible for pulling it in, you are less likely to get late fees because it is their system that is set up to pull the money on the dates that were agreed upon. Another thing is credit score benefits. So because it's an automatic payment and it is more likely to be consistent, then you will have timely payments on your credit report, which looks good and favorable, therefore increasing the odds that your payment history is going to be a positive one. So what are the cons of autopay? One is lack of control, because you are essentially signing over the control of that amount of money from being your responsibility to being the company's responsibility and pulling it for you. There's the risk also of overdraft. If you are not paying close attention to your bank account, they are going to pull it on the 15th of every month if that's what you agreed to. And if you got a lower than expected paycheck, then you might not have enough money, but they're still going to pull the full amount on that date. So if your bank is set up to allow for an overdraft to occur, then you will get overdrafted. The difficulty in making adjustments. So unlike bill pay, you now have to contact the company in order to make changes to the agreement, which could result in a lag time. It could result in you having to be on hold, trying to get a customer service rep, etc. Security concerns. So one thing to consider is that by not doing it through the bank, but by doing it through the company, there is a possibility that your banking information could be potentially leaked or hacked from the other company if they get targeted. Dependency on systems. So in order for this to work, that means that all of these systems in the back end have to go flawlessly in their execution, which, as we all know, is not always the case. There could be glitches, there could be accidental double pull. It is a possibility that also they could just completely miss it and then not catch it. So you always want to at least pay attention to your bank account and the dates that it's supposed to pull. And if you notice any discrepancies, then call them and kind of figure out what's going on. So how is bill pay and auto pay different? So as I mentioned before, with bill pay, you are in control and you're the one who is initiating the money to go out of your account. With auto pay, you are giving up your control and telling the company, no, you be the one that takes the money out of my account. So it is the company who goes in and pulls the money from your accounts, not you sending it out. Do all bills accept being paid either via bill pay or through auto pay? In general, most cases, yes, but it's actually dependent on the company. Not all companies and small businesses are set up to accept bill pay, so it depends on their credit processing. But for the ones that you are thinking like mostly about, which is utilities or subscriptions for like streaming services, yes, they are built and designed to accommodate generally the auto pay one because it is on them and they are more likely to be successful in receiving payment that way. But in other cases, there are willing to accept bill pay. So you just want to get in touch with them and confirm. So how do you pick between the two? Well, this kind of depends on you, whether or not you want to be in control or you don't want to be in control. If you would like to be able to look at your account and ensure that everything is handy dandy and know when exactly this money is coming out of your account down to the second, then bill pay might be the option for you. And if you are a type of person who rather set it and forget it, then you would benefit from auto pay. It is also totally an option to do auto pay on some bills and bill pay on others. I'm that type of person, so that is also an option. You don't necessarily have to be one or the other. And again, some companies don't even take bill pay and some don't even have auto pay as an option. So that's another thing to consider. So yeah, that's the basics around bill pay and auto pay. Thank you so much again for tuning in. If you are a current subscriber, if you are not a current subscriber, please consider subscribing. And bonus points if you share this video with a friend. If you have any questions, please drop it down below. I am more than happy to answer your questions and potentially make videos like this to answer them. So the only way I can continue to make more videos addressing topics you would like to learn about, you gotta let me know what it is that you want to learn about. Really quickly, I am going to be putting more community posts out there to give you guys more opportunities to get in touch with me. Again, I am a one-woman show channel, so I am the one that is answering all your comments. I am the one who is editing these videos and the one who is writing up all these scripts. So I want to keep the communication open between the two of us and make it easier, so there will be more opportunities. And I hope you have a great one, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!